Objection.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now, Mr. President, over the past few days, Donald Trump has bent over backwards to try and sell his so-called big, beautiful bill with a new lie. He said no one will lose health care coverage. He says no benefits will be slashed. He says the bill won't harm a single recipient. He is lying. This is all total nonsense, and Senate Republicans need to reject Donald Trump's snake oil sales pitch. I implore my Senate colleagues, tread carefully with your big, beautiful bill. If you pass this bill, it won't be Donald Trump's soothing words that will be enacted in your states, but rather deep and devastating harm to your constituents. And your constituents, Senate Republicans, will hold you responsible for going along with Donald Trump's ruse. If you go down this road, you'll take away coverage from kids, from seniors, from parents, from moms. You will put doctors and nurses out of work. You will put rural hospitals in particular jeopardy since they depend on Medicaid and Medicare and government help to stay going. And they're often the biggest employer in your rural counties, Senate Republicans. They're often the only source of health care. And when Americans see this is all to make the ultra-rich even richer, they'll know that it was this nasty bill that made it happen. Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill is repeal and replace by another name. Here are the facts. Under the bill, millions, over 14 million, would lose health care coverage. And as bad as this bill is, we just got news that it will get even worse. CBO today will announce that it is not 14 million people kicked off, but more. Estimates as high as 15 million. The Republican bill, will kick even more people off health care than we originally thought. Not only by attacking Medicaid, but by destabilizing the ACA, private insurance, and now even Medicare. Even Medicare. So this bad bill is getting worse. The estimates of how many people will lose their health care coverage goes up and up and up each time you read the fine print. The closer and closer people look at the bill, the worse and worse it gets. Tens of millions of Americans who otherwise qualify for health care would be mummified in new red tape, shortened enrollment periods, higher premiums, weaker coverage. People will fall through the cracks and get phased out of coverage altogether in coming years. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. And that's no accident. That's the intention of the Republican bill. And let's talk about fraud. Donald Trump says, well, it's just knocking out fraud. Democrats would love to work with Republicans to eliminate fraud and waste in health care. But the bill Republicans have right now does not accomplish that. It's aimed at real people who need health care. Taking that away. It uses, this big, beautiful bill, uses the fraud boogeyman as an excuse to kick people out of health care who would otherwise qualify, including people with jobs, including people with kids. The only fraud happening right now is the fraudulent sales pitch coming from Donald Trump and his statement that he won't boot anyone from coverage. That's the fraud here. The fraud of the lies Donald Trump is telling Republicans about this bill, that people won't lose coverage. That is a lie. That is the fraud. Republicans should know that and reject this awful, big, beautiful bill before it's too late.